Hi guys, this is Mari and you're watching Mari Bomb, and today is June 29th as I'm recording this and hopefully when this video goes up. So, so that means the Artfight starts in 2 days, which I'm really excited for. So, and I would have been, kind of set to go. I would have just had to, fix my character bios a little bit and get through it. And then I decided like last week that I was going to add my Sona to my Artfight because why not? She's cute. And I draw her a lot as it is for thumbnails and whatnot. But of course I took my sweet time. So finishing it up became somewhat last minute preparation. I guess last minute would technically be like tomorrow, but I know everyone's already stressing, so I'm joining the club, I guess. So I'm going to talk you guys through my process of how I made my Sona and also the experience of kind of trying to rush through this and figuring out like what you guys actually would need and also how to make this look nice. So that's going to be the main focus on this video, but before we move on to that, I do want to mention a couple of things. First of all, thank you guys for over 1,000 subscribers. I know that it might not like be an incredible milestone to some people, but I'm very happy. I'm very satisfied with myself and with the audience that I've gained. So thank you guys, means a lot. And speaking of milestones, my Draw This in Your Style challenge will end tomorrow, June 30th at 5 p.m. So if you haven't gotten in your submissions yet, I highly suggest doing that. Remember, you can submit on Discord, Instagram, or TikTok. The links to all of which will be in the description of this video. And you'll also get prizes if you win the top 3. You'll get priority attacks on Artfight, as well as various other assorted prizes that I needed help coming up with. Thank you, Dart. Anyways, who said that? Must have been the wind. Must have. Anyways, and I think that might actually be it. If you hear any sounds in the background, my bad. Very noisy fan today. So let's get into it. Yes. So before I actually get into it, like I said I would, I did notice that a couple of people have been asking what Artfight is. And I didn't actually think to explain it, which I probably should have, because my target audience was people who were also preparing for Artfight, and I didn't really consider that like people who didn't know what Artfight is would see Artfight like in the title and they'd be like, what the freak is Artfight? So let me explain it a little bit. But Artfight is essentially just, it's an annual art gifting game. Some people call it an art trading game, but it's an art gifting game. And so basically every year in July, the website, how do I explain this? But basically you post your OCs, other people post their OCs or their Sonas or whatever, and you basically draw each other's OCs for your team, and whichever team has the most points at the end of July gets nothing. You get a cool stamp and bragging rights and you win. But it's mostly just for fun, and I'm sure that there's someone who could explain that much better than me, but that's like a very brief, like 1-minute synopsis of what Artfight is. It's very fun. I love it. And the Artfight team also does various activities throughout the year. So I highly recommend I highly recommend it. It's not for everyone, of course, but I love it. I love doing it every year. So it's something that I enjoy greatly. But moving forward, how did I design my Sona? So initially this is what my Sona looked like. This was like, I don't know, from a year or 2, maybe 3, I don't know. This is from a little bit ago. And at the time I was definitely dressing in like darker aesthetics. And if you know me, fashion is kind of my entire personality. Fashion and being, I don't know, decent looking and doing makeup. I love all of it. It's my favorite thing in the world, and at some point I do want to start making more fashion oriented videos on my channel. But for now, let's talk about my Sona. So like I said, at the time I was dressing in more kind of gothic elements, and because I listen to goth music and I've loved the goth style for years. The gothic styles have my entire heart. They were probably like the first subculture that I encountered online, like gothic cultures and then emo and whatnot. Generally like the big alternatives. They were the ones that I interacted with very early on when I was on the internet as a child. So I always kind of wanted to dress that way, and I still do sometimes. But this was prominently how I was dressing. So I like put little bat wings on, and I, would wear like this like little like crop top with bell sleeve situation that I wore like all the time because I thrifted it and I was so happy with how it looked on me. And so that was definitely a big thing. And of course I wanted my Sona to vaguely resemble me. It looks more like how I actually looked the older one. Meanwhile, the newer one doesn't really look like me as much, but you can tell that it's like meant to be me in a way, I guess. I don't know. So when I was kind of redesigning my Sona for the channel, I kind of thought about like what aesthetics I wanted to lean into, what I kind of wore more now. I've started to incorporate a lot more colors into my general aesthetic. I've incorporated a lot more reds, greens, even some oranges, which I didn't really like the look of orange on me before, but I like it a lot now. So I've begun dressing a lot more whimsical, a lot more fun and fresh and funky or whatever. And of course I had to update my character. So this was the first sketch of my character, who we're going to be calling Appy Etoile. Appy Etoile? Hold on, give me a second. Appy Etoile. I'm not French, guys. French people, don't hate me. Because I'm pretty sure that's French, right? But basically, it's star apple. I don't know. I looked up cool apples, and I saw that one, and I was like, that's really cool. So that's what I named her. But we can also just call her Mari, because she's me. But when I was redesigning her, I was very much thinking about, like, again, how I dress now, and I kind of wanted to incorporate angel wings, because something that I have been really in love with for years are, like, those little angel wing hair clips that I would always see on Amazon, and I never bought them because they didn't really fit me, I didn't think, and I still haven't bought them, because I still don't think they suit me, but I thought it was cute. I love characters with, like, wings on their head. So it was something that I decided to incorporate because, I don't know, I designed Zadria kind of with that kind of theme in mind, and I just couldn't, it didn't end up coming on her design. I'm sure in one of her many shapeshifter forms it's come out, but I don't know, it never happened, so I decided to put it into my own character. And if you are looking at the reference, I don't know what, not the reference, well, whatever. If you're looking at the speed paint at this point, you may or may not see, I don't know, but there's basically, I still wanted to incorporate the bat wings that I had before, so I decided that was going to be like alternative designs that I might use on like Halloween or something, because I'm also very big on Halloween, if you did not know. Ow, my knuckle. But I'm very big on Halloween, I'm very big on celebrating that holiday and whatnot. I think it's fun. So, yeah, that's really it. But so when you're designing your Sona, obviously it doesn't have to look like you. Make it look however you want. Your Sona can be green or pink or blue. I don't care. I don't care. It's your character. Just make sure it represents you. Make sure you're having fun drawing the character, and that's the main reason why the outfit design is so simple as compared to, well, I don't know what it was before actually, but my outfit design is very simple because I know that if I'm making a character that I'm gonna be drawing over and over again, then I would like for it to be on the more simple side when it comes to outfits, just because that's how I am personally. But I also wanted to incorporate things that I actually did wear. For example, the jeans are based off of these Aeropostale jeans that I own, that I thrifted, because initially, and I bought them very reluctantly because they were $25 at the thrift, which is insane. Don't get me wrong, I normally would not do that, but they were also jeans that I'd been looking for months. Okay, they were these vintage flare jeans, and no, it's not Aeropostale, it's Abercrombie and Fitch. I'm sorry, but they were these vintage flare jeans that I had been looking for years because I love the way that flare jeans looked on me. I don't think I have any pictures because I don't take pictures when I wear jeans. Sorry guys, but I love the way that they look on me. I love the way that they flow. I love the feeling of them. So I had to buy them, and they were also new with tags, and I saw that the original price was like $90. And I'm like, well, when am I going to get this chance again? When am I going to find this specific kind of jeans that fits me like decently? Never. So I bought it, and I don't regret it. So I wanted to incorporate those, but also I really like just like the simple like white or like off-white top with like flowy like sleeves, which I actually don't have that, but if you ever worn anything with bell sleeves, you know how like magical it is to just kind of like to have a Stevie Nicks moment. I love that. Like I feel like Peter at the Stevie Nicks concert when she starts playing Edge of 17. That is like, oh, it's heat. It's so fun. I love it so bad. Like, you guys don't even know. You don't even know. You can't even comprehend. You don't even know that I'm standing on business. It's not clocking to you. It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business. Sorry. You're not getting it. It's not Sorry, that was like not. Anyways, but that was really the design process behind my OC. Oh, but the straight hair. Why is my OC's hair like that? Like it's kind of like curled at the end, like kind of like in the 60s, 70s beehive style. But why is it like that? So when I was doing theater at my college, well, I still am, but I'm not going to be there for a little bit. So, but that was the first time that I had to like straighten my hair like somewhat consistently, and then I would put in hair rollers, because hair rollers are fun and cool, but they're very hard to use with my natural hair. I find that it's very much a hit or miss, whereas with straight hair it's a little bit easier to recover, because we were doing like 40s hairstyles kind of, and so I had to kind of really figure out what I was doing and how to play into it. So I would use hair rollers because, I don't know, they reminded me of the 40s somehow. So, but like obviously on days when I didn't do my hair and the curls would come undone, but it wasn't hair wash day, it would kind of turn out like that. Like not exactly, but I also just thought it was fun. And as for like the reddish brown hue, my hair color was like that for a little bit. Kind of, I don't know, I think at the start of the summer. I'm actually not really sure. I don't know why I chose that color specific. I think it just looked good with everything else. So it was something that I decided I was going to play into, and I did, and I think it looks pretty good. I really like it. And then I kind of made the, like on the alternative versions, I made it more sharper, pointy, straight, because I thought it would be cool and fun, and I don't know. I think sharper edges equal scary sometimes. So yeah. But let's talk a little bit about how I felt kind of working on my references just on this reference, I guess, so close to when Artfight starts. I don't know. I felt very like not really rushed, because I knew I had time. Because even, you know, even just a couple of days, that's still a couple of days. Like if you were told, like if you were in a fast food line and you were like, hey, I need my food, and they were like, so it's gonna take a couple of days, you'd be astonished. Honestly, the most trifling part about this entire experience, which I don't know if it's already passed, but it was definitely figuring out how I was going to, I don't know, how, the background, for the life of me could not figure it out for some reason. I couldn't figure out what color I wanted to use. I couldn't figure out what pattern I wanted to use. I didn't know what background from Pinterest to steal, to use. It wasn't clocking to me. It wasn't clocking to me. I'm not gonna make the same joke, I'm sorry. But I was so distressed, and eventually I found it. I got it soon enough, and I think it looks pretty good. And of course I went with the kind of like scrapbook style. That's become like my default. Because, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know how to make good reference sheets, so I just play around with it until it looks like something that I would enjoy looking at, and then I leave it, and then I put on Artfight, and then I leave it. So that's very very much a big thing for me. But I will say that I definitely found myself putting a lot more thought into this one, which I try to put a lot of thought into my reference sheets, period, how they look. But I think you'll notice that like around Sari's reference sheet, that was when I started to get like a little bit more burnt out, I guess. Like around like that kind of weird patch of time, I was definitely like kind of like figuring out like, well, what am I gonna do? How can I make these look like a little bit different? How can I make these visually appealing? And I stopped. It wasn't working. It wasn't happening. So that was definitely just like, whatever. So with this one, I still wanted it to look like somewhat visually appealing, but at the same time, I don't know, I wanted it to look nice, really. That's the main thing. And I think in the future, I'll go in and I'll make more like in-depth reference sheets, and I'll probably stray from the square curse. And the reason why a lot of my artworks are square is because for a long time, if you have known me for years, you probably know that I used to have a different art account where I mainly was a Danganronpa artist. But if you've ever posted on Instagram, you know that like really the square kind of the canvas is the best one to use for Instagram, at least in my opinion, because it makes it a lot easier to crop, and it, you know, things are a little bit less likely to get cut off. So I've always used the square one, especially since I still post my work on Instagram and on TikTok. It's usually a safe move, but I think maybe next year I'll try and kind of stray away from that a little bit, just so that I have a little bit more space to work with, because although some artists might find it easier to have like this amount of space, for me I would like to have just a little bit more, but that's just me. So I would say I definitely learned a lot, and I also put more thought into like the fabric that I was rendering, at least with the jeans. I can't say the same for the rest of the clothing, but with the jeans I was kind of thinking about like, how do jeans look? Because I've never understood how to make jeans look like jeans. And though I can't say like, obviously my style isn't hyper realistic or anything, but I don't know, just something about having like some like jeans that vaguely resemble jeans, that vaguely look like denim, it makes me so much happier. And I genuinely, it made me excited to draw clothing in the future, especially denim. I don't know, and I don't draw a lot of denim. If you know me, you know that I hate drawing pants. I prefer to draw like skirts, and it's very reflective of how I dress in real life, because even though, yes, I mentioned those Abercrombie & Fitch jeans and I love them, but all in all, I prefer to not wear jeans. Jeans are like my fallback, you know? If I can't make a good outfit with a skirt or a dress or something, I'll wear some jeans, but I prefer not to. I find them generally kind of limiting, but it is what it is. But the fact that I'm having fun drawing them now is like so a reminder that TikTok tutorials will be your best friend if you are in a bind, because that was what I focused on. So whatever. But I'm really excited. And when I like look at the first reference sheet that I made for Artfight this year, which was Harmonies, and I compare it to the one that I just made, first of all, I think that my art has improved, and this is just me personally. I do believe that my art has improved from when I first started. I think that, first of all, the background looks a lot better. There was just something about like Harmonies has its charm, you know? The background on it is cute, but I also do think that because I've kind of focused on learning how to make them look better instead of just, slapping things together, it has definitely helped me to improve visually a lot. And also, I also put a lot more energy into this one than I did with like Sari and Zadria, because like I said, that was like a weird point where I was kind of like just exhausted, and I was like, okay, let's just get this over with. And that's never a good way to look at things, and I see that now. And especially when you're doing Artfight, you never want to be like, let's just get this done, let's just get this over with. That's a sign you need to take a break, and take a break I did. So, what is that? Do you guys hear that? I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. But yeah. So taking a break, stepping back definitely helped me a lot. And so I was able to put more kind of focus into things, especially when it comes to colors. Speaking of colors, my Sona skin color has changed a million times. Because like I said before, Procreate has a tendency to either to just mess with colors on your referenced, like when you pull up a reference on a canvas. And that could also just be a trick of the eye and have to do with color theory and whatnot. Don't explain color theory to me. I know what it is, but I don't know, gang. Like, My tummy just made a noise, and that's really upsetting, but I think it's a sign that I need to cease. And also my dog is barking. So yeah, that's a sign that I need to stop, that I need to come to a close. But overall, I'm very happy. I'm very satisfied with how everything has turned out, and I'm really excited for Artfight. I'm really excited to announce the Draw the Senior Style winners tomorrow. So guys, please join the server if you want to, like, I don't know, find things first, because I don't know if I already mentioned this, because low-key I have awful memory, but we did just celebrate 1K by doing Gartic Phone in the server. It was really fun. So if you want to be notified of when we play games, when we do stuff like that, if you want to make friends, art friends, whatever, just have fun. Make sure you're joining the server. Follow me on Instagram, Discord, and that was pretty much it. Bye guys.